that between 19... now, I'm not trying to share history now of campus ministry, but between 1960 and 1984 and 85, when Uncle Udubong is here, became the first full-time Navigator staff on Unijust campus. When the students, started graduating from ABU Zaria, of course, many of them moved to Kaduna, some moved to Jos. Dr. Blessed Goje, late Dr. Femi Onimisi. I have the names here. Dr. Steve Daniam, Dr. Felix Cole. I know that he's here. We're all part of the team. We started the Jos campus ministry. It has been going on. You can see there. And in fact, God's providence, the ministry in Wukari was actually pioneered and sustained by some of the people who came from Unijust. And then in Enugu, the campus ministry is led by Sedo and Ifoma Dio. And use them very, very greatly. It was pioneered by Goje, and then Sedo and Ifoma had been ministering on that campus. The Usuka campus, led by Abiodun and Chinyere Famoshe, and Bishop and Salome and Ahuwan, and a team of CIPs. Some of them are here, or Ebele Amichina is here, as lecturers who continue to collaborate with this gift income staff to see ministry continue on that campus. I know that Moses and pioneered that ministry on, correct? And they are here by God's grace. It's quite a lot of them, still here at this point. See the impact. We can tell these pictures, individual continues. There was need for a spread, really. And Okore and Chi Kalu moved to Ibadan to pioneer the ministry. That has Uncle Achira and Dio as part of the team. Later, late Dr. Femi and Fumi Onimisi, and later Ayo and Membi of Jebodi, who actually did tremendous work, in seeing that the campus ministry started and sustained in Ibadan. And it's not just on campus, but it's also the engaging high school ministry, Ibadan. And we have the ministry being led by Musa and Regina Yashim, Lazarus and Victoria Naka, Dr. Sebastian Antola Mazwan, and Ruben Daniel in Mina. Well, of course, when we talked about the training of the staff training of some of the laborers who are laboring, mostly on campus, actually started here. And we have seen how God has continued to sustain the campus ministry in Mina. As people get involved, we talked about Yinka and Sharon, Balogun, and many others that we can't actually mention that they are here. We've seen God move through the campus ministry in Mina. And the team in Bauchi is led by Asha and Priscilla Issa, Solomon Abolaji, and Daniel Azan. ATB, not long ago, they had they had the opportunity to open the second campus right from the first. And the Lord has continued to sustain that campus ministry. I know was pioneered by Bulus and Salama Bosan. Uncle Nu Salaman was also part of that team at the initial time. And then we have some of their fruit were actually started other campuses that we'll get to hear later. The Loring campus is being led by Dr. Kayode and Abisaya Adelaja. They are here, which was pioneered by Dan and Comfort in Dankasi. Like I said, Dan and Comfort in Dankasi was involved in the campus ministry in Bauchi. And we've seen, the campus ministry being sustained by these people over the years and as they get involved on campus and in high school. We moved to Port Harcourt, where the ministry was pioneered by Lokiki and Irene Ofia, and later led by Mlaku Chioma Yerima, and it's quite a journey, on that campus. And now we trust that Jacob was here, so the CDM will take credit for raising. And then I heard them refer to the Navigators have taken them. Yes, we are all Navigators. And the Navigators campus ministry have taken them. They are now on their way to Port Harcourt to work on this campus and in the Port Harcourt area ministry. And we move to Lagos. A lot of efforts, has been put into opening Lagos campus, especially if you understand how Lagos situation can actually look like, But some years ago, the campus ministry in Ilorin started holding youth camps in Badagry, and many years down the road, I think in 2000, that we started that, we have seen God raise generations, that has now opened up the campus ministry in LASU, Lagos State University. And as Ejuku and Chigozirim Ofia lead and sustained what God is doing in Lagos. And that we are jacked by CDM. The Gombe campus ministry has really been used by us to equip staff, it's a staff training center, but also to open another campus. We have two campuses, being presence in Gombe, at this moment. God is doing amazing things through the team in Gombe. And then the Lord, through the ministry in Ilorin, started engaging high school students in Ankpa. In fact, I think that ministry started in a primary school that later got, into the secondary school of this same secondary school, of that same school. And of course, the intention was to engage campus ministry, campus students, but with the young, the secondary school students. But many years, down the road, we now have fruit from that high school ministry being the foundational member, because as they graduate from secondary school, they got into KSU, that Kogi State University in Ayimba, and they have now become the foundational member in that school, in KSU, and it's being led by Abayomi and Faith Dada. The ministry in Ayimba is not limited to campus. These students engage in rural missions, trusting God to raise, disciples from among the Igala tribe in Ayimba. And then we come to Akure, a ministry The Accra Ministry, pioneered by Mike Antonio Gundele, our national director, some years ago, and I'm being currently led by Emmanuel and Blessing Madugu, and reaching not just on campus, but in high school as well. And we see God actually just doing amazing things in Akure at the moment. Abuja, 2 campuses is currently being pioneered by Mlakul and Chioma Yeriman, Dr. Alani and Human Akonde, and Okeke and Irene in Abuja currently. We're trusting God for foundation for future generations. Warri PTR's Petroleum Training Institute campus was actually started by this DG and Telma. They were just lecturer in TI, and they started ministry. And that ministry actually that has spread everywhere in this country. I'm going to share a story briefly around that. And we have campuses that are student-led. And Fuye, Wukari, Ogumosho are led ministry that we are trusting God, staff, laborers. We move into these places, our work there. Nasarawa campus is currently being pioneered by Zach and Grace Barki. They will come up shortly, and what do we celebrate? Oh yes, I'm coming. We are the ones celebrating 50 years. What do we celebrate? We celebrate the passion and deep commitment of our campus laborers who continue to stay true to raising disciples and laborers over the years. The early people who started it are also here. We celebrate the heritage of a multiplying ministry in our campuses being passed from one generation to another. Celebrates the campus ministry that has not dropped the ball in being vital in the implementation of our ministry plans and strategy. Youth of graduates, ordinary people, pioneering new as the and the discipleship ministry to new places, high school, workplace, and even beyond the shores of Nigeria. People that Mike, as Nigerians in the UK actually came from a campus ministry. We celebrate discipleship, bringing up and taking schools across Nigeria, fueled mostly by campus ministry. Mike said something that we've been saying it in our campus ministry that no young person will die in Nigeria without having the opportunity to hear the gospel and having a chance to be discipled. We celebrate efforts with other entities within the Navigators ministry in Nigeria and outside the NAV ministry, engaging young people with the gospel and discipling them. We celebrate support from the national leadership in providing opportunities for tooling and for our campus laborers and graduates, even students. To just share a story. Shadrach, just pardon us. This is I'm just going to be brief. Timothy Alaba is here. Timothy, please, can you stand? Thank you. Timothy Alaba graduated at Petroleum Training Institute in Warri, being led by Telma. When he finished his ND, he went to Lagos for the internship and stayed with Eyichukwu and Chigozirim Ofia. After 1 year, he stayed another 6 months and then went back for his PhD. Why Timothy went back was that he felt that God was leading him to go back to Warri so that he can be helped, but not just that, but also help other students in PTI. Timothy is back in Warri, finished his HND, currently on training and trusting God to continue to labor in PTI and wherever God leads him. That's the example of what we are trusting God to see from our campuses. Committed to laboring on campus. Transition structure for our graduates, keeping them laboring after graduation. What are some of the needs that we have? Laboring laborers, gift income staff, and conventional income staff on campus. Ministry vehicles, vans, with movement. Accommodations suitable for ministry, laptop, computers and printers. Funding support, missions exposure, and ongoing issue-based program. As you remember our ministry on campus and in high school, you can pray for us with those needs. I'm going to stop here and then ask Uncle Zach to is going out the mission efforts to Nasarawa as a model of what we are trusting God to happen, to see happen all across our campuses in Nigeria. Sorry, Shadrach. Celebrating 50 years.
Okay, praise the Lord. About 5 years ago, in the Jos, North Central area, we discovered that ministry is stronger only in Jos, but other parts of the zone is not strong. Achira was the zonal leader then. So we plan and say we want to have intentional expansion, but it never got started. Much later, my parents were getting more sick in old age and were spending more time in Akwanga. And we thought we could start something. And God touched our hearts to be near. The thing with missions is, if you want to start, you must have a pioneer. You must have somebody who will drive it. So my wife is here, Grace, and we prayed, and we put a team of 8 people together. They are all here, Achira and Membe, David and Nguvere and Aswe, Nanchan Gwamji. If you're here, just stand up. And Matthew, who is working down, Matthew the tax collector. Matthew. And we were 8 in number. Sit down. So September, precisely last year, after recruiting prayers, raising funds, trusting God, putting up some survey about the state, what's the religious, the economic situation. Then we moved in September last year to begin a series of survey, praying, contacting. Little did we know that God will open such a wide door. Students are available, some are praying to receive Christ. We need to be more on ground. Right now we have contacted over 150 students in 3 campuses: Federal University, Lafia, State University, Kefi, and the College of Education, Akwanga. And so among the 150 that were contacted at different levels, usually the pipeline of recruiting is that you begin to zero down. Out of that, about 60 in the 3 campuses have prayed to receive Christ. And they need monthly visits. And so the team of 8, we plan to be in Akwanga, Kefi, and Lafia once in a month. And we are trying to recruit, and we have quite a reasonable number. When Mike Trainier was sharing, I remember when we were driving down always, one prayer we used to pray is as, "Oh Lord, take away discouragement from us." Because students could give you assurance to meet them, but when you arrive, they are nowhere to be found. Secondly, we are not fully registered there yet in any of the campuses. We don't have a venue, and we have spots Like Kefi, we have the entrepreneurship garden, Lafayette. They know where to meet us. Sometimes when it's time for them to come, it's raining. And it's so difficult, but students are committed. During our last visit in Kefi, some students within campus couldn't come, but one student doing IT in Abuja drove all the way to meet with us. That was encouraging. And so the prayer meeting is that, Lord, encourage us, don't discourage us. Don't let discouragement set in. Whether there are 2 or 3 or 5, we will start something. So our prayer is to have a group of students who are regulars, that we can say we have 10 students in Lafayette, Kefi, or Akwanga that we are going. So out of this, the last meeting we went, we had 10 in Lafayette, 8 in Kefi, and 6 in Akwanga who have made commitment they will be available for Bible studies. We are trusting God that many more will join. But the challenge is when you start a mission like this, trust God for people who will move in. Traveling from just monthly, it's a big challenge, and it's expensive. We need to find a place to sleep, find food to eat, fuel our car and go. But God has been faithfully providing. But we need